Iblis, being a warlock, he's got a pact with a super powerful being. That's where he gets his powers from. The kind of backstory of his whole thing is that Raven Queen is like who he has a pact with, Shadowfell, and I feel like she could sense he was fading into the darkness and he was gonna die, but she wasn't ready for him to finish what his family agreed to. So then just this surge of energy just comes blasting into him, even to the point where the 4 arrows that were in him just go shooting out of him. His body just kind of raises up, just like, "Bruh," his eyes are glowing, like lights coming out his mouth, like this whole fucking crazy, just like, "Wah!" And then he just kind of drops down to the floor again and gets back up.
Knocks Alamandros back a couple of steps.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
He's even closer to the elf now.
Yeah.
Like he was just reaching in.
Yeah, it's almost like a shockwave just kind of permeates out through the fucking...
That's fucking
Oh my god.
one of the best things I feel like I've ever seen. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then he just fucking lands on the ground. He's just like... He's confused. I'm like, the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Jesus. I better go find the guys.
It stuns and frightens this wood elf who's probably never even set foot outside these woods for hundreds of years. You would predict that obviously you might be going to tell someone, but he's running for it.
Let him go.
And then if you don't presume, then comments then.
You're showing light out of your face.
Iblis is just doesn't even really acknowledge it. He's just like, the elves, there's elves in the woods. Did they get you? Are they gone?
Yes, we've got one of each now. Come.
Where's the kid?
Oh, he's bemoaning Harraby. Fortunately, he went down.
I saw that happen. We should probably get back to them. Who knows when there's going to be more reinforcements coming.
I agree. You're a fascinating one, you are. Jeez, I haven't seen such things before.
Iblis is just like, it wasn't my time. I've got things to do still.
Wow. I'll give you an inspiration. I think you already have it.
I still have it.
Yeah. But you get it, I guess. You got it twice now. You come back to the camp and you see Treeleaf cradled over top of Harraby's dead corpse. In front of you, you knocked out the one wood elf camouflaged being. The other one has been slain in front of you.
What was the orc doing the whole time?
You look in the tent and just see that the orc is riddled with green arrows.
What?
Oh.
Just straight arrows that were all misses.
So he's dead now.
And he's just murdered.
As you guys walk in, I feel like I see you or hear you coming behind me. Turn to you. We need to bury Harraby. And I gave him my first name.
Are you the type that believes in using all of the animal when it's dead? Not your friend, I imagine.
I couldn't.
Understand. What about just the antlers? They would be very useful in our journey. I understand it's disrespectful.
I couldn't imagine seeing or maybe to remember him. I could tie them to the back of my armor.
Some, yes, absolutely.
I could put his whole rack on the back.
From time to time we could use some of that rack. I agree. This is a grand idea.
No, just the antlers.
Absolutely. Aren't they golden?
They're gold. They're made of gold. You remember back earlier that a lot of Waterdeep nobles. That's why a lot of the people want to hunt in these woods is to get these deer with these golden antlers. They're like magical and great and fetch a big sum at the Waterdeep auction. Alamandros knows that.
Meaningless, yeah. No gold is had.
Yeah. But whether you mutilate friends' antlers is a different question.
They are magnificent horns. I know horns, and those are some good horns, I tell you.
I look like you, I guess, a little bit.
I'll take that as a compliment.
If guess I need to do it, then do you have a dagger?
No, I have a long There's no need to do it this moment. But you go check on our friends. Great. Say your prayers, Will. We need to tend to this elf as well. Do you think you can make another concoction?
I have some herbs in the bag behind the dreamweed that I can make into containers of liquid that can heal you. He can make healing potions because he's got an herbalism kit.
In honor of your friend, maybe we should camp here tonight, since this is your home. Have a ceremony maybe for him. You can harvest the antlers, we'll bury him, maybe recover for our journeys deeper into the woods against these fucking goddamn elves.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Are you into burying or funeral pyres? My culture, we burn our dead. Big, massive bonfires.
Whenever I've lost a friend, I bury him in the ground so that he then becomes the ground. Usually I plant a tree over top so he becomes part of that tree.
Interesting.
Alamandros is tying up the binding with his own armor roots.
I think I can make about 50 healing potions. How many can can he make it?
No, roll a d4, damn it.
Those definitely will come in handy. You start making your potions, I'll start digging a hole for your friend.
3.
Sure.
So what he actually makes are more of like a healing
There's no more
salve.
materials in the area.
There's a thick leaf wrapped around in a pocket. Inside the pocket is not a liquid, it's more like a jelly substance, but regardless, you still squeeze it into your mouth. He gives one to each person. Is this just a standard healing potion, or like
Yeah. 2d4 plus 2. Maybe you can refine your craft though, alright? Think about it.
Alamandros?
I was like bound the prisoner. I assume you noticed that Scrag was dead when you were in there and made those healing potions? Or did he come out? Was he like dead on the ground or something?
You just find like it seemed like a ricochet, insane 1 in a million shot, but there was a crit one from one of the elves and killed him, shot him in the head.
Should we bury the orc too? Did you dig 2 holes, or?
I only dug the one. Can they go in the same hole?
I don't think so, but let's maybe move him to put him in the hole, I guess. I can't carry him myself.
Let's take
could I
care of
have
your
that
friend
dagger?
first and worry about the orc later.
Could I take someone's dagger to remove these horns?
Iblis tosses you one of his daggers or hands it to you.
So he goes to, remove the horns from the head.
Yeah?
When they've been removed,
Okay.
he places them, like uses a whole bunch of sticks, weaves them into his armor so that the entire shaft of it is like inside, and then the antlers are coming out on both sides.
Sick.
Sweet. I guess we should bury him now.
Agreed.
We need to lift him together. I can't do it myself.
Absolutely.
Everyone make a strength check. It's gonna be easy if you all do.
11.
14.
4.
So basically, Iblis and
Just kind of like holding my hand.
Alamandros. You're just kind of there for support.
He's carrying his tail.
Yeah.
Such beautiful hair. So we put the body in the hole. Goodbye, my dear friend. And he starts shoveling dirt onto the hole.
Yeah, it's slowly filling up, just covering up patches of fur, one brown glop of dirt at a time.
Iblis, I don't know if you saw the elves, but they're not like this.
What do you mean?
I've been trading with them my whole life. They weren't nice, but they would never attack.
Maybe these aren't the elves you knew. We'll have to see what that tied up one there has to say.
Indeed. Alamandros approaches.
You go to him when his eyes are open, he looks conscious again.
And I point to the mound where Harraby is, and I'm like, you and your ilk are responsible for this. We've done you no harm. What are your intents? What is wrong with you?
By this point, sort of the gold of his eyes has dimmed away, and you can see that he just has regular eyes that just give you a cold hard stare, though. His elven features are sharp, but beautiful. Like, it looks like he hasn't showered in weeks, but somehow he's pulling it off. You know what I mean?
I can get nothing out of them.
Well, that's unfortunate. I can't speak their stupid tongue, or else I would give it a try.
Treeleaf, do you think you can speak sense into this life? Just have him talk, otherwise I don't know what we have to do with it.
The only thing that talks to me out here is the wind and the plants.
It's an odd way to communicate with an elf, I'll admit.
I could try.
Well, no harm in trying.
So he goes over to the elf, starts going.
Can you give me a check of some sort here?
Nature?
Sure, whatever it is, your nature.
11.
He looks over and can't believe it. He says in common, Treeleaf, what are you doing here?
We were coming to see you.
Not the best time to be around these woods, Treeleaf.
How could you kill Harraby? It's just a breakdown.
He looks over at the beard and says, Orders from Rond. You're remembering that this is one of those elves that actually was trading with you. You know his name?
He called himself Formy. Formay. He pronounced it Formay, but
Formay.
Just trying to French it up a little bit.
yeah.
This is Formay. He's been trading with you in the woods. Him and his sister, Lila, they've been friendly towards you, and that's why this whole time you're like, I know the elves, and they've been friendly towards you this whole time. Even one time they came to you, like they needed some special ingredients because, you know, their father had caught ill. You're a druid. I mean, they're wood elves, but you have this special talent to find these things, and you even helped them back in the day, but...
Alamandros. I know this one. I guess I forgot that some do speak common.
Maybe that's why you didn't hear me notice. You, what is happening in these woods? Why are you being sent to kill the innocent?
He looks over at the big knight, but looks back to Treeleaf. What are these men? What are they doing in our woods?
They're my friends. You should really talk to them.
Look, we came down here to her, Lady Nanda. She said she was having a problem with the elves. We get there, overtaken by goblins, then orcs. You guys come in, slay the orcs. We found orcs, and you're like, what is going on? There's giants. I feel we should be working together. I don't understand why you guys are shooting at us. And what was the original problem with Lady Nanda? That's what started this whole thing.
Can you make a persuasion roll here?
15.
You're looking at the wrong guy. Name's Formay.
Yes, Alamandros, I heard.
Well, Ron Arrowhome, our leader, he's had enough. First it was problems with Nightstone, as you said. Hunting in our woods. Pillaging from the elven ruins that we're here to protect. Killing the beasts of these sacred forests.
It seems you're no better with the killing of the beasts of the sacred forest. Just killed one of the best ones in it. Judgments aside, I think we're better working together than not.
He looks back with our Treeleaf. Treeleaf, trust me, when you left the woods, that was the best decision you ever made. I don't know, like, if you could speak with Ron, he's gone crazy. He's locked these woods down. Orders are to kill anything that is walking by, like you guys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to attack you in particular, but he won't see reason.
We're just trying to help. We were trying to come and talk to him in the first place, so maybe take us to him then.
Make persuasion. With advantage.
12.
I can't take you back. I failed. You're living, you're breathing. He looks at all of you. I'm better off dead, really, if I hate to say it.
But how should we see Ron?
Well, to get into the deeper woods, you must take one of our underwater tunnels we've been using. Kept the orcs back when they invaded. They didn't even penetrate it. They had no idea of the secrets to get to the deeper heart of Ardeep Forest. If you want to go see him, you can. Maybe talk some sense into him.
We don't want to kill any more elves. I guess you couldn't give me anything to tell them that who we are, so... Iblis, what do you think? Usually can...
In my experience, you can't really negotiate with fundamentalists. We've captured him. He won't show us where to go. We can't let him go or else he'll just attack us again. I think he's right. He's probably better off dead.
Do you have an inspiration?
I do have an inspiration. I'm going to use it. So, 22. Well, he's basically just trying to intimidate him into cooperating. Well, you can't reason with him. We can't let him go because he'll attack us again. So, the only option we have is to kill him, and he's pulling his axe out from behind his back as he's saying that. If he's not willing to cooperate, which most fundamentalists don't, and it sounds like he's one of these crazies. There's only one way to deal with these kind of cults.
Crit 1. He's never seen your race before. Looks at you and says, "No, wait, Treeleaf. Don't let him kill me. I'll help. Tell him I'll help."
He can hear you too.
Speak common as well, fool.
My apologies. You're a race I've never seen before. Lived in these woods my entire life. The only human I know is Treeleaf.
I'm no human.
You have one chance, and I'm not even sure this will work, but there's an ancient wood elf tradition. It's a secret among the elves. If you utter these words, Laheelahoo, the ordeal of broken wood, the elves will have to listen. Ron is binded by our ancient traditions. If he doesn't listen, the whole wood elf tribe could turn against him. That's your best shot. I'll probably be dead for telling you all this, to be honest with you, but Treeleaf, my sister and I are indebted to you for saving our father.
Now you're indebted to me.
Anything you say.
Now that you're cooperating, sorry to interrupt, but do you recognize this at all? He shows him the runestone that he grabbed from the giant's bag.
He looks at it, says, "I don't know what that means, but we have one very similar."
Interesting. But you don't know what it is or what it does or what it's for.
I know that it's a dwarven runestone, but we cannot read this ancient text. We know it's got some power, and he kind of looks over at all the glowing green arrows that are littered around the camp.
Does your leader keep the stone?
He leans in a little bit closer. The stone is kept in a well, deeper into the woods. It's a sacred place. We go there. We dip our arrows in and they come out enchanted. There's a stone that rests within the well. We can't explain it.
Interesting. Kid, do you know where this well is?
Was there a well at the place that we were at with the...
The well is past the water tunnels, deeper, where we've set up our tribal home.
I know these woods, but I've never been to the well.
Treeleaf, we never told you. Sorry. There are some secrets we elves kept hidden from you. Even talking to you was forbidden from Father.
Can you put it on my map? And he just holds out his hand and he says, so this is where my house is, and this is where, points at a couple things.
Slaney or Jabab, the Eye of the Forest, yeah.
So where would the well be then?
He's explaining this to you, but as he's explaining to you, you remember that Harraby was kind of directing you towards that pool within that elvish ruins that would lead you deeper into the woods towards towards where this sacred well is. And he says, go back, this is where you need to go, but you're like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I think I know where to go.
Would you happen to have any sacks? Right? All this talk of water, I'm going to need something to put my armor in. I'm not swimming with them.
I might be able to use my tools to fashion you a sack out of leaves.
Anything that can hold a few, well, I guess it's going to have to be orc bladders, because I don't feel like any kind of trails are. He's like, you might not want to watch this pod.
So, like before, when he went to make the thing to hold the cockatrice baby, remember he went out and tried to make a cage for that? He goes out into the woods collecting leaves, seeing if he can fashion some sort of pouch that could be used to hold something.
Can we survival check?
Can you use my advantage, my inspiration?
Yeah.
Can you use the inspiration?
No, you have
after
to.
20.
Okay, you're it.
Alright, so you definitely made like a basket.
So it's like little branches woven, and then in between the branches are layers and layers of really thick cuticle leaves, like very waxy leaves.
Yeah, so he's gonna like wander over and like go up to Snark the orc there.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and cut him open and pull out lungs, things, and you might not want to watch this pod. I've only done it a couple of times before. It usually works when you have to ford the river.
Maybe make a dexterity saving throw, like how refined is your surgery abilities? Well, whatever you do is not clean. You get in there, you know exactly what you're going for. You're mutilating the inside of his body, but you do get what you're looking for.
So yeah, I got like these bladders and stuff. I'm like shaking the goo out of them and stuff, like blowing them up and trying to like wrap them up with rope and stuff. Put them in his thing. That's it so far. Now it's just a thing full of bladders, some rope tied to it.
True brightens up.
Crafty.
I have an idea, Iblis. I think I have a plan.
And what's that?
We could, or I could dress like the elf. You could look like an elf.
I sure can.
He could be a prisoner.
The only downside is I don't speak elf, so if they say anything to me, we're fucked.
Can you go like this?
I sure can move like that. Yes.
For me,
Yeah, Alamandros speaks Elvish.
for my tied up there, looks at you all incredulously like, you can't be serious. The whole woods, including Ron, knows you're here at this point. You've got to be super quiet. He's not gonna fall for something like
He looks at him
that.
and says, "Come on, man."
He won't fall for a Treeleaf. You're naive. You've lived in our woods. We didn't tell anyone about your existence.
Iblis casts disguise self on himself to look exactly like that elf. And he's like, really? They won't believe it?
Yeah, at least. I mean, we can try.
All right.
There it is.
All right. I don't think it'll work, is all I'm saying. Do whatever you want. I'm your prisoner.
Well, there's always an element to chance in life. Some people call them dice. Other people call it chance.
You believe in fate, I believe in the gods. My Leaky, the goddess of the forest. You believe in your probabilities, and I'll believe in the faith of our Lord. Maybe I misjudged you, Druid.
What should we do with this guy?
Will you shut up enough for us to sleep?
We can always go.
There's dreamweed in the house.
No.
Dreamweed. Does that make a 1 hour rest feel like an 8 hour rest? Because I sure could use a long one.
Maybe if we give him a lot, it might make him fall asleep.
Dreamweed, you give me too much of that stuff, you'll kill me.
I say it's worth the risk.
I've been taking it for a long time, and these are my plants, so
Then you should know.
I know how much is safe, I hope.
You don't have to take it. You could just shut up for a while. Not bother us while we rest. Some of us need to recover. Even a short one would do me fine, but I don't know.
Just throwing it out there. We got what we need from him. We could just kill him.
No. I'll be quiet. Treeleaf, if anything, I hope your crazy plan works.
The
And he
dream
shuts up.
does do that. A 1 hour rest feels like a long rest. Oh. I thought maybe I just missed writing that down or something.
I don't know.
Either way, though, it's getting late in the day, and we're in the middle of the woods.
Probably
It's gonna be getting
4:30.
dark
Yeah.
pretty soon, probably.
This is your house. I mean, it's probably comfy.
Yeah.
Formate does warn you, like, staying here is not a good idea. Like, Ron knows where you are. He sent people after to find you or after they've interrogated Harraby. He's trying to warn you that they were coming, but he doesn't recommend staying in the same spot.
feels like it's been an hour since we've been talking about it.
Approximately, maybe like 30 minutes.
With another half an hour to go.
We need to rest. I
I don't like the idea of traveling these woods in the dark. That's for damn sure. Unless you know somewhere else that might be close by.
I mean, I have other homes throughout the woods, but I don't know what they look like right now. It might.
Yes, the orcs. This probably isn't the only one. It's better to defend them from here, maybe. There are more out there.
We can all fit inside. It might be a little tight, but it's comfy.
And at least get some sort of cover, other than walking through the woods and letting them pick us off. Them coming to us didn't hurt so bad the last time.
Formate just smirks like, oh, you guys, they're gonna come back in greater numbers.
Maybe those ones will listen to you. And then he looks over at Iblis.
If they come back, it's alright. We know the phrase now. They'll have to talk to us, right?
Your deal with broken woods.
I guess Pod can fit in here too. You might have to lay.
Oh, he's far from here. I don't think he'll be any bother.
Okay. Well, let's rest.
So, you rest, but you get attacked. You get attacked.
Did we rest?
This is mid-rest. Like,
You got reinforcements that quickly?
They don't know what's happened. Like they don't know we're
Yeah.
alive in the tent. They see all the. I guess we just left all the elf bodies out there, so they'd see that. But they don't even know we're in the tent, right? Like we're in there quietly.
you can make a stealth check to be out of sight. Or I guess you're in full cover right now.
We're
so
hiding. Yeah, I guess. Are we?
let's just say you hear them out there. They're encroaching. Their footsteps.
Yeah, they probably see the dead orc and the dead elves and think that everything's done. You know? Probably like, oh fuck, shit's done. Killed the orc. Where are those dudes? I don't know what they're thinking though. That's kind of metagaming, I guess.
Plant some seeds. Yeah, I agree. They'll just come charging.
Yeah.
They're approaching your position. Like, they're going to the last known position, which is you guys stayed in the same position. That's why I feel like this is happening. You kind of peek out the tent, and one by one, you just see these green arrows just lighting up around you in like a circular formation. They don't see you because you're still kind of like hidden in, I'll say, full cover. But you've kind of adjusted your eyes, even in this nighttime-ish type of, because they've activated their arrows, and you've kind of recognized how they've camouflaged themselves since the last fight, that you can kind of see them.
We can talk to them or use the back flat, but I think we should stay in the tent.
You think we can get out unnoticed? They don't seem to be listening.
There's a lot of them out there.
We know that saying.
Formate looks at you and says, yes, same.
I think it should be you.
By law, they must
I
listen.
got your back.
Yeah, it should be me. I agree. He opens the flat, steps out, and then just says, Laheelahoo.
Iblis
And waves.
walked out behind him, but while he's looking like that other elf guard and just trying to like add some reassurance that like, yeah, everything's okay. Like he just walked out behind Treeleaf.
And he looks exactly like him.
Yeah, he looks like Format.
You see the sets of like glowing golden eyes in the woods and the green arrows, and you can see that one by one the sets of eyes are going back to like their whitish pupil-filled eyes. Bows are lowered. In Elvish, someone calls out, "Who speaks Laheelahoo?"
Alamandros to Cornet and steps outside. Laheelahoo. I speak Laheelahoo. The ordeal of the broken wood.
They all are kind of looking at each other, but one of them stands out and motions to the rest of them, "Put your weapons down." They all strap their bows behind their backs, come out of the woods, and you can see their camouflage bark and mud-stitched armor, and they all just form out, come towards the tent, come towards Alamandros, Treeleaf, Iblis, and they all just like hold their hands and they just bow and just say, "Laheelahoo." They all line up, just single file, and are indicating for you guys to follow us. We need to go.
Where are you taking us? We need to speak to Arrowhome.
Formay explained to you at some point that this is sort of a matter, this ordeal of broken wood is something that has to be done by the leader of the tribe, and that the test, has to be presided over by the tribal elder and Ron Arrowhome. So they're taking you to him.
So you're saying that like we've entered into a contest or something?
Make a history check.
7.
Did they respond to you when you asked them where they're taking you or whatever?
I feel like Formay explained. It's almost like they didn't respond to you, but Formay's just like they're taking you to. This is how the ceremony must be
So I
done.
didn't even ask them to Ron Arrowhome we go.
They're leading through the woods. woods. They're going a different path than even Harraby showed you earlier to get to the Elvish ruins. They are like deactivating different traps that have been set. All that green lush grass, the greenish gold grass you were seeing, like they're just deactivating as you go swiftly through their territory. They come to the pool. They're waiting for you guys to jump into it.
Lead the way.
How deep is this pool? I can't breathe underwater.
You're gonna need like one Constitution check or one Constitution saving throw of power to make it through. You'll be able to make it. You might just be damaged if you fail your Constitution save.
Well, it's the only way to go.
And I mean, if you have full plate mail on, disadvantage, I'd say for sure.
Yeah, well, he's like strapping his ladders and things to himself. See how buoyant he can stay? Like scraping along the roof and shit.
Like he goes underneath though.
And he's up near the top.
Constitution
So he's not
save.
just slapping the bottom.
Yeah.
They'll give you a swimming chance, but you're at disadvantage with all that plate mail unless you took it up.
Treeleaf looks over and says, Harraby and I used to have breath holding contests, and he goes, and then dives in. Constitution save.
Constitution save.
I rolled 11.
6.
The journey takes you 3 damage. The journey takes a lot of strength out of you. They explained it like it was nothing, but for them, they've been doing this every day. They lead you, you pop out of the pool, and you can see the ridges of rock behind you. Like you could see how the orcs maybe would have never been able to get through here or known that there's a deeper sanctum to this woods. In front of you, they again are deactivating some of their grass, and they come up to an opening and see this pool of water in the distance. It looks like it's glowing green, and it reminds you of the well that was spoken of that was sort of enchanting their arrows. And you do see these elves, just approximately 4 elves, going up to the pool, dipping their arrows into the green water. They're kind of crouching, and one of them stands a little bit up and whispers to his arrow, and you see that elven inscription being written onto the arrow. And they're ceremoniously just like dipping their arrows into this water.
So when we came out of the water, I come out gasping and grabbing at the dirt, flip myself over, and I'm breathing heavily and water's kind of spitting out of my mouth. I couldn't hold my breath. And he puts his hands around him and casts a little healing spell because that took him down to 1.
So this party of 6 camouflaged elves, they're leading you through this area. They turn around, and you didn't notice that he was even there, but out from the trees, sort of behind you, comes on this giant elk, Arrowhome. He's wearing this sweet helmet made out of antler bone. Got this plate mail that's made out of like this craziest wood you've ever seen. It doesn't look like bark, like looks like he's polished it like a set of plate mail, but it's made out of this crazy wood. Beside him, on sort of a smaller great elk, is this old looking, must be like a tribal elder type of elf. He's got these gray dreadlocks, tattoos all over his body. He's carrying this crooked wooden staff. He calls out in Elvish, "What is the meaning of this?" One of them steps forward and just mutters the words, Laheelahoo. Arrowhome on his great elf just puts up a hand, and you've seen sort of all these green arrows that are in the woods around you, glowing golden eyes in the darkness of the woods and the shadows appear, but no movement's happening. He looks at Iblis, Treeleaf, Alamandros. "How do you know the words, Laheelahoo?"
I've heard them from rumor, whispered on the winds before in my trades with elves.
Make a perception check. Don't be foolish.
Is this all in Elvish?
Yeah.
I feel like this time with all the travel and shit like that, I don't look like the elf anymore either. To regular.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure where I may have heard them, but I know they mean I get to speak to you.
Impossible. He just, "Warriors, attack!" But there's a calmness. There's approximately maybe 40 bodies out there that you can detect, all glowing green arrows like aimed on your position, but no movement. Arrowhome repeats, "Attack! Attack, I say! These are intruders to our woods. They must die." You hear this slow murmur amongst the trees. All of a sudden, the green lights go out. The eyes turn less golden, more normal. A slow murmur, a slow chant. Laheelahoo, 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 Laheelahoo. The chant is growing. The elves are walking out of the woods. Like you can see them all congealing onto your position. And Arrowhome's like the elk is like back, staggering on its own legs, and he's stiffening his back. The chief elder looks up at him and just shakes his head like, "You need to do this." And knowing that you can't go against the custom, just like puts a hand up. Laheelahoo. And all the elves just all go into this stance of holding their hands together, bowing their heads. The elves that who are dipping their arrows into the water stop. You can see all the green arrows go out. Around Arrowhome, this tribal chief elder with the dreadlocks wheel their great elves and lead you, presumably deeper into the woods of the Ardeep Forest to where their home base is. And you can get a short rest, yeah.
Not a long one?
And get a short rest. No, short rest.
Feels like we've walked a long time.
Yeah. Spell slots don't come back until long rest.
Oh, it's a short rest, damn it.
Fight us on an empty stomach at least? Or like Laheelahoo was?
It's about nighttime by this point. Torches are being lit. Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah.